Hi friends, welcome to a very long and special episode. So today I'm gonna try a style swap challenge. For the prompt, create a modified character. That means I will take an existing character and reimagine them in different cartoon or anime art styles. So the character I chose is Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. And I will be reimagining her in 15 different cartoon or anime art styles. That is quite a lot, so as you can see, I added some paper to the prompt because a double page will not be enough. Style number 1 is Monster High. So Monster High basically is a high school for the teenage descendants of famous monsters like Frankenstein, Dracula, werewolves, the mummy, etc. It all started as a fashion doll line that was first launched by Mattel in 2010, and later it expanded to a web series, films, novels, and all kind of merchandise. So as you can see, I started with drawing the logo of the franchise, and now I will try to reimagine Luna in the style of Monster High. So there are several distinctive features to the Monster High art style. The characters have bold black outlines and angular-shaped faces and bodies. They have slim bodies with large heads and large feet. The feet are always in a heel position and the knees are often bent inwards. Especially noticeable are the huge eyes and lips and the big hair. So as reference, I took Frankenstein's body and face and Laguna Blue's curly hair. To make it look like Luna Lovegood, I dressed the character in her typical outfit with the pink coat, the black skirt, and the blue tights, in combination with colorful stockings and Converse shoes. I also gave her some accessories to make her even more noticeable. These are the spectrespecs, the Quibbler magazine, and the dirigible plum earrings. I'm using a multimedia approach here, starting off with alcohol markers, then going over it with colored pencils, and adding final details with acrylic markers. And here is the final result. Style number 2 is The Simpsons. The Simpsons is an American sitcom and a satirical depiction of the American life. It features the Simpson family who is living in the fictional town of Springfield. The Simpsons is the longest-running American animated program, and the first episode came out in 1989. So, characteristic for the Simpsons art style are the vivid yellow skin color, the overbites, the bulging eyes, and the lack of chins. The art style is rather simple, using as few lines as possible, but it still has some shading, so we definitely have to add that. I also gave the Quibbler magazine a Simpsons makeover, so the guy on the cover page has yellow skin as well. And here is Luna Lovegood in the world of The Simpsons. Style number 3, Winx Club. This makes me nostalgic. I remember Winx Club was quite a thing when I was in elementary school, and me and my friends had our own Winx Club. So yeah, that was quite fun. Winx Club is an animated fantasy series which has been created by an Italian animator in 2004. Sorry, we're a bit out of focus here. So the show features 5 or later 6 fairies who attend Althea College to learn magic and who protect the magical world of magics from all kinds of villains. The art style is characterized by the extremely elongated limbs and slender body proportions with smaller heads, as well as the large stylized eyes and sharp jawlines. The Winx wear the typical Y2K fashion trends with vibrant colors and a lot of glitter. I used Stella as a reference here and gave her the hair of Aisha. Once again, I used mixed media with alcohol markers, colored pencils, and acrylic markers. And here is Luna as a Winx character. Style number 4 is Lego. I'm pretty sure you all know Lego, so I don't need to explain what that is, but let me give you some more background information. The company was founded in 1932 in Denmark. Originally, it made wooden toys and then shifted to plastic in the late 1940s. The iconic minifigures with the yellow skin were introduced in 1978, and they changed to normal skin tones in the early 2000s. There is an entire Lego Harry Potter universe, so of course there are several minifigures of Luna Lovegood available. That means I didn't have to make up one myself, but just use one of those minifigures as reference. I took an older version where she has longer legs and the skirt is printed on the legs, as opposed to the newer versions where she has a piece of cloth. And of course, I also added the Lego version of the Quibbler. And here is Lego Luna Lovegood. Moving on to style number 5, Bratz. Bratz are a line of fashion dolls launched in 2001 that later also expanded into animated TV series, films, video games, and so on. The name is derived from the word Bratz with S to emphasize the sassy and trendy personality of the characters. The most distinctive features of the Bratz art style are the large heads and feet in comparison to the rest of the body, as well as the big almond-shaped eyes, the huge pouty lips, and the lack of noses. The style is a bit similar to Monster High, with the large heads and feet and big eyes and lips. However, the bodies of the Bratz characters are much shorter than those of the Monster High ones. Fashion-wise, they're similar to Winx, also rocking the Y2K fashion trends. It's crazy to watch this in time-lapse because it took so much time in real life. I think a minimum of 2 hours per character. There were so many steps involved. First, the sketching, then fine liner, alcohol markers, colored pencils, again fine liner because the colored pencils covered them up, and then acrylic markers and final details, and then also the logo of the franchise. So yeah, but although it was a lot of work, I really enjoyed the process. Anyways, here is Luna as a Bratz character. Style number 6 is the Fairly OddParents. I somehow lost footage of sketching the logo, but we still color it in together. So, Fairly OddParents is a Nickelodeon series following 10-year-old Timmy Turner, who is granted fairy godparents named Cosmo and Wanda, because he has very neglectful parents and a cruel babysitter. Cosmo and Wanda often disguise themselves as goldfish, and they are rather chaotic, often causing even more trouble for Timmy. I didn't watch this show very often, but the art style is so distinctive. It is a highly graphic and exaggerated design with those potato-shaped heads and super bold outlines. And again, sorry for the focusing, I don't know what was the problem here. My reference character for Luna was Chloe Carmichael. And this is the result. Style number 7 is the Peanuts. Starting off again with the logo, and I chose this super cute one featuring Snoopy. The Peanuts is an American comic strip that originated in the 1950s. The main character is Charlie Brown, who is described by the internet as a lovable loser. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Yeah, and he has an imaginative dog called Snoopy. So the art style is very simple and minimalistic, and it looks very hand-drawn, so also the lines vary in thickness, and I used a very soft brush pen to try and recreate this style. My reference character was Lucy. And here is Peanuts Luna Lovegood. Style number 8 is Gravity Falls. I have to admit, I didn't know this show before. I came across it when I researched distinct cartoon art styles for this challenge. So basically it's a mystery comedy series that follows 12-year-old twins who spend the summer with their uncle and explore supernatural mysteries and creatures in the strange town of Gravity Falls in Oregon. The art style is rather simple. The characters have stylized anatomy, often exaggerated proportions, and most prominent are the large circular eyes and the thin flexible limbs. So the kids and the teenage characters in the show look quite different. I chose Wendy, a teenage character, as reference for Luna. And here is Luna as a character in Gravity Falls. Number 9 is the Tim Burton style. Tim Burton is a celebrated American filmmaker known for his gothic, macabre, and quirky style. Among his most famous works are Batman, Corpse Bride, Beetlejuice, Alice in Wonderland, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Frankenweenie, Edward Scissorhands, The Nightmare Before Christmas, the list goes on and on. So typical for his style are spindly pale characters with extremely elongated, thin limbs and huge expressive eyes. He uses high contrast lighting and the color palette is dominated by muted tones and deep grays. His style is often described as gothic surrealism, which blends gothic horror with fairy tale whimsy. So I took the weird girl from Frankenweenie as reference for Luna. I gave her those super thin legs and the huge bulging eyes. And I used an extra dull and muted color scheme. And here is Luna Lovegood in the style of Tim Burton. Style number 10, Star versus the Forces of Evil. Another show that I didn't know before. So this aired on Disney Channel from 2015 to 2019. And it follows Star Butterfly, who is a magical princess from another dimension. And she receives a magic wand for her 14th birthday, but she proves that she is not ready for the responsibility that comes with it. And as a result, her parents send her to Earth, a place that doesn't have magic, in the hopes that she will gain maturity there. She lives with a family there, disguised as an international exchange student. When I saw the main character, Star Butterfly, for the first time, her looks reminded me so much of Luna Lovegood that I just had to include her to the Style Swap Challenge. I kept the original pose, the large blue eyes, the broad toothy grin, and the big stylized blonde hair, and simply dressed her in the outfit of Luna Lovegood. And the guy on the Quibbler cover got the same toothy grin. So here is Luna versus the Forces of Evil. Style number 11 is Animal Crossing. I'm sure most of you know this Nintendo game series where you can customize a village or an island and befriend lots of anthropomorphic animals and catch bugs, go fishing, harvest fruits and so on. So it's just a very cute and relaxing game. So the animation style of Animal Crossing is rather simple. The human characters have large heads, small bodies, and simple faces. However, there are no black outlines, so that means I need to do the outlining with colored pens. I just took the basic female avatar as baseline and customized it to make it look like Luna Lovegood. Also, the style is three-dimensional. That means I have to add a lot of shading in order to achieve this effect. So here we have Luna in the world of Animal Crossing. Style number 12 is Bob's Burgers. This is another American sitcom that I haven't watched before, but I still chose it because the style is very iconic. So the show follows Bob Belcher and his family, who run a seaside hamburger restaurant. Like The Simpsons, it is a very popular and long-running series that has aired 16 seasons so far. The art style is also quite simple. Like The Simpsons, most characters lack chins, and the body features are overall quite blocky and simple. My reference character was Louise Belcher, Bob's youngest daughter. It's the one that always wears those pink bunny ears. Although it's a very simple style, it still has some shading, just like The Simpsons do. So yeah, I also added shadows to that design. And here is Luna in the style of Bob's Burgers. Alright, style number 13, Adventure Time. Yet another series I've never heard of before, but the art style is super iconic. So this show follows the adventures of Finn, who is human, and Jake, who is a shape-shifting dog. They live in a post-apocalyptic world called the Land of Oo, or yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, and they often save the inhabitants of Oo from the Ice King or other villains. So here we have, again, a very simplified art style, and most iconic for that style are these noodle arms that basically just look like spaghetti. Also, the faces are very simplified and minimalistic, with just dot eyes and simple round mouths, and once again, we're missing the nose. So here is Luna in Adventure Time. Style number 14 is Total Drama Island. I ever only heard about this show in another style swap video. So basically it's a Canadian animated series that parodies reality shows like Survivor or Fear Factor. It features teenagers competing in dangerous and gross challenges at a rundown camp who vote each other off at a campfire ceremony every week. The art style is very iconic and the body proportions are extremely exaggerated. Like we have this super extreme sand clog body shape, then the legs that are shaped like the number 3. And also you can see it here because of the spectrespecs on her head, but the tops of the heads are flat. So here is Luna as a contestant on Total Drama Island. Okay, last but not least, style number 15, Equestria Girls. I'm not an expert on this franchise either, but Equestria Girls is basically a spin-off of My Little Pony, which is a toy line and media franchise from Hasbro that was launched in 1983 for the first time. So My Little Pony follows 6 pony characters who all have this cutie mark or butt tattoo, and yeah, they are collectively known as the main 6. And they go on adventures and help each other around the fictional kingdom of Equestria. And then the Equestria Girls are those ponies reimagined as teenage human characters. Characteristic for this art style are the huge shiny eyes and also the lack of black outlines. The lines are basically just a darker shade of the color that they outline. For this character, I didn't use alcohol markers for the skin tone because the eyes didn't have outlines all around. So basically there was just this black eyeliner on top, and then the bottom part where you can see the white of the eye didn't have any outline at all. And I was afraid if I just used alcohol marker that the color would spread into this white area, so I only used colored pencils. And here is Luna Lovegood in the style of Equestria Girls. Holy moly, that was a lot of work, but I love the end result so much, and looking back, I really had fun doing this challenge. Here you can see all the characters that I created so far, and now it's time to assemble them in the book. As you've seen before, I already prepared the background and added more paper to the prompt to fit all of those character designs in there. However, I realized there was still some empty space on one of the pages. First I thought I might do some fun facts there, but then I decided no, this is such a special prompt, I'm gonna do more styles to fill this up. So yeah, let's go on with style number 16, South Park. I have never watched this show, but it has one of the most noticeable art styles. So, South Park is an American adult animated sitcom that is known for its real humor, satire of American culture, and dark comedy. It follows 4 teenage boys in the fictional town of South Park in Colorado. As I said, the art style is quite special. It is deliberately simple, and it has this 2D cutout aesthetic that mimics construction paper stop motion. As it has no outlines at all, not even colored ones, I used only colored pencils. Alcohol markers would have probably spread. So here is Luna Lovegood in the South Park style. Okay, and this time, really last but not least, style number 17, Kim Possible. So this is an animated Disney Channel series from the 2000s that follows the teenage high school cheerleader Kim, who fights crime globally in her spare time. And she is supported by her best friend and also love interest, Ron Stoppable, and his pet naked mole rat Rufus. I watched this show a few times in my childhood, but funny enough, the character that I remember the best is the naked mole rat. What is interesting about this art style is that it combines both black and colorful outlines. And according to the internet, the art style is a retro-modernist aesthetic that blends 1960s inspired graphic design with early 2000s animation techniques. And here is our final art style, Luna in the world of Kim Possible. And that was it. Now all of the pages are completely filled with Luna in different cartoon and anime styles. I hope you had as much fun as I had reimagining Luna in all of these styles. Let me know which one was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.